I love my new glasses. Thank you, baby.
You're welcome, and happy Valentine's
We look
Day.
good. Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Starting this podcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's the Jack
And Kathy.
Show.
Shit show.
And there we go.
Yeah, how was that?
Okay,
Did you like that
I think if
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
I haven't seen you all day.
That is so not true. We've been together every moment once again.
You look adorable in your sunglasses. I look like an alien figure.
So while we are, I think my head's bigger than yours. Look at that.
You definitely have a wider head.
I have a wider head.
Yeah.
Today that we are recording
the
the day before Valentine's Day. So this is going to come out on Valentine's Day.
Yes.
So Mr. Jack thought it was appropriate to give me one of my Valentine's Day gifts, which we are wearing on our face.
Yes.
So if you were just listening, you have to go to YouTube now and pull up the
Or
video.
if you have
Spotify.
Spotify has the video
Oh, that's
version.
right.
Yep.
See, I don't know all those things.
Yeah, it's okay.
You are the man.
So I got you heart sunglasses.
I like them.
They're
I'm
cute, aren't
definitely
they?
going to wear them tomorrow.
Aren't they cute?
Yeah,
I'm
you're so cute.
adorable.
I don't know if there's room for them in my sunglass drawer, though. My cup overflowing of glasses, but I love them. Yeah, thank you, babe.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Your present is going to come tomorrow.
Your present's already here. I got to wrap
and
it. Don't look for
all
it.
fits in an envelope.
Great.
Yes.
All right. So that was a great podcast. Let's go to the Skin Deep. Ready to wrap things up? No.
No, we
talking.
We have something to talk about.
Before we go further, we have 17 things we want to talk about today. One of them.
Before we go further or before we go farther?
Farther's distance. Far, distance, space. One further is additional.
I know. I just took that as an excuse to say that to you because you
farther.
say that to me when I use the wrong word.
So wait till you see the postcard that you guys are getting. It's fucking hilarious.
Really?
Yeah, it's about words. It's really cute.
Oh.
Do you want to tell the peoples what I've been doing?
Yes. So Jack, a good handful of, I don't know, how many months ago did you start this?
January 1st.
January 1st.
First week of January.
He was going to start sending everyone he loves a postcard, a handwritten postcard.
Well, my immediate family.
Your immediate
so
family. Your
you
children
and the kids.
and me.
Right.
Okay. And so once a week, we all get a postcard with sentiments from Jack on it. And it's so sweet. And it's obviously full of love and support and personality.
Yep.
And
Every week.
you are so wonderful that way.
You know what's funny about the whole postcard thing is that I was using the mail department of, like, I pay for my own postage for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I don't know, pennies for postcards. But anyway, I was having my office deliver them, so they get mailed from all the other people there, right?
Yeah.
And it was taking it forever. And so, you know, when you get them faster is when I actually drop it off in the post office.
Yes.
Isn't that funny?
Well, no.
Is that to be expected?
That's not surprising.
Everyone
If
gets it
it's-
faster, not just you.
If you take it to the post office, you've eliminated one step of the whole
Clearly.
journey of that postcard being delivered. But I think postcards come in more slowly because I think they get lost in the mail.
Well,
I don't know if the sorters can go through the postcards. I
could
feel
be.
I feel like postcards have to be hand sorted. If any of our listeners work for the U.S. Postal Service, maybe you can fill us in.
Well, I do think that when our mail goes out, it goes in a bin. And I wouldn't be surprised if those bins get stacked for later in the week type thing, right? We'll get to the bins. Whereas the mail that goes right into them, I get out of the car and go into the post. I go into the post office. I get out of the car, put them in the post office. This is why I wish Sam would listen to this, because this is when he
Your
goes.
son, Sam?
Yes. Because this is when he goes, it's not even funny. This feeling inside.
It is funny. Jack Honer, you make me laugh. So I'm going to marry you.
Oh, when did that come up?
That was the segue.
Oh, well, I wasn't finished with the things I want to talk about.
Oh,
yet.
all right.
Can we segue in a second?
Yes.
So Second thing is your friend Danielle listens to this, which, by the way, heads up, I didn't even know she listened to it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
Yeah.
I did not.
Yeah, she's chimed in with questions in the past, I think, right?
I have to admit, no. I have to admit, I don't. She hasn't. I don't track, like, I don't give a shit about the stats necessarily.
Either. Yeah.
So I'm not like out there tracking stats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
I know.
All right.
I know. We just got to authentically show up as ourselves. And
well, yeah. If
nobody listens, this is really for us anyway.
Right.
So.
And if we get a call from Spotify saying, you just eclipsed 200,000 listeners and we want to give you money.
Joe Rogan is
what?
Eating your dust.
Yeah. Maybe I should talk about vaccines or something.
Become controversial.
Yeah. How can I be really controversial?
Oh, that wouldn't be hard, babe.
Me? There's nothing controversial.
Just talk about politics. Nothing controversial about you.
There is not.
What are you talking about?
I'm not some conspiracy theorist. I'm about as middle America as everybody else is.
No, but if you started talking politics
I think most people are like you and I.
Or religion.
We're not hardcore anything. Hardcore lovers. So
is that a song?
My kind of lover. It's not hardcore lovers.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I have to think about it. I'll write one. So
I'm just staring at you with your white glasses.
I look like an alien, don't I?
You look like a fly.
So, okay. So Danielle wrote you something today because she was listening to our podcast, and that surprised me because I didn't know she listened. So hi, Danielle, and I didn't know you listened. So hi. And then it was about the chicken coop comment where we were talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene doing a gaffe by pronouncing indicted, or indictable. And so then we started using all different words that could be misspoken. Coop.
Oh, yeah.
And so she said, you didn't tell anyone about my chicken coop. And then it turns out my daughter, who you just sold her a house, her and her husband a house, that they've got a shed in the back that they want to turn into
a chicken coop. Love it.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
And so she wants me to build a porch swing for her, which I have no problem building. I really want to build a chicken coop.
Yes. You've got to start studying that and look at how they're finished out on the inside. And
love to build a chicken coop.
Yeah.
That to me would be more fun than pork.
Try again.
Schwede or Schmiedeha. Porch bench would be fun to build. It would be pretty
It's like when I say heat seater.
Correct.
For my seat heater in the car.
So speaking of, you must be freezing because you're wearing a blanket right now.
Yes, it's a very large shawl. It is winter in Wisconsin, my love. So it's a little bit chilly.
Well, and it's cool down here too.
All right. Did you tick all those boxes of all the
Well, I
things
just want to say I'm excited
about?
I think it's cool that she can have a little chicken coop, up to 3 she can have. Danielle's got 26, you said?
26 chickens now, yeah.
Me, man. That's so cool.
The coolest thing, well, she does many cool things with her chicken. She has actually started making...
I used to choke my chicken a lot when I was younger.
Oh, my goodness.
I was so waiting for that. And then when you said she does a lot... She does a lot of things with her chicken.
She has these run cages where the chicken, have you seen those? Yeah. Where they go in this ball, but it's really a cage ball. Yeah. But they can walk around. They can peck at the ground and eat like they do. Yeah. And they are also protected from predators. Yeah.
So
because
cool.
Those birds of prey love chicken. Mm-hmm.
So I could have had a chicken coop in my house on Curtis and Downers Grove. Mm-hmm. There were so many foxes and coyotes that roamed the neighborhood that when I talked to a neighbor about it, they said, you can try to put up any trap you want. If they know there's chickens in there, you'll see 4 or 5 in your backyard.
They'll dig under a fence.
They'll just be in my yard the whole time, right?
Yeah.
So if I go to cut the lawn, I could encounter a fox or a coyote.
Right.
And then I had Ellie at the time. So the last thing I want is...
Yes.
They're like, I wouldn't do it with your dog there, so...
Right. Yeah.
But I think it's cool that Alex and Sam are going to... Possibly, I would love to build a chicken coop.
Yeah. Chicken coop. No, that's really cool.
Isn't
And
that cool?
and so hopefully
Yeah, they're
if
very cool
if they get to
kids.
that point, they can chat with Danielle and get
Yeah.
some advice, because she knows it all. And she's starting. Did I tell you she's starting to make jewelry with the feathers?
With the
'Cause
chickens?
with the chickens, whole chickens
With the
hanging off
intestines?
of your
Intestinal
ears.
jewelry?
The places you can go
Did
to
I-
so quickly.
Did I tell you that I was a kid
Intestinal jewelry.
that I used to choke my chicken?
We throwing that joke down again? You already played that card. I thought we were done now.
I can't stop.
Yes, I know.
Okay. So,
Any other topics?
yes, one last topic.
Okay.
And then you can segue. I am the one who edits this podcast, and so
You do
therefore-
everything for this podcast.
Well,
I
not
just show up
everything.
and
Not everything.
and I don't even show up and look cute. Sometimes I just show up and look nasty.
You look gorgeous. All the time.
Oh.
So I don't like the camera angle, though. I feel like, right? Is that bad?
No one's watching, babe. Don't worry
No
about
one's
it.
even listening.
That's true.
I, though, listen to the podcast. How about that for a segue? I listen to the podcast, and when I listen to the podcast, I realize that I talk way too much, and that you'll be in the middle of saying something, and I'll interrupt it with, like a phrase like, "I choke my chicken." So
That's you being you, though, babe.
So I'm letting you know that I'm pausing before speaking for the remainder of this podcast, and I will not interrupt you from this point moving forward.
All right. Do we make any wagers? You almost
blew it.
Almost.
Oh.
3 seconds in and you almost blew it.
Yikes, that was close. May I speak now?
Yes, I do like this whole you asking for permission before you speak. Can we keep up with that? Can we make that a thing? Maybe?
In real
No?
life, you mean?
Yes.
No,
Oh.
not a chance.
Okay.
I want people to have a certain perception of me.
And that is?
Being calm and witty and polite. I don't need them to know the real me. Okay, so on that note, you had a segue, and not the kind that you ride around like police officers do in a park.
Mm-hmm. So if you are a frequent listener, you probably know that Jack and I are engaged. We've been working on this wedding planning thing. We have a wedding planner, Nilsa and Paul. They are amazing. Love them. They have become friends. They're just people I want to hang out, for the rest of our lives. And they've been helping us. And we started out with this guest list of 250 people. And that almost immediately was like, well, what are we doing? We can't. No. So we pared it down to 80. And we've been kind of on this path of 80 guests. And we are going to have it at the pavilion, which is pretty affordable. But we'd like to have the ceremony outside. And we've been adding layers to it, as you do when you're planning a wedding, right? You're adding more layers. I've ordered 4 dresses online, dropped a few $1,000s just to try on these dresses. They all have to go back. And then I want an Airbnb to have all the kids stay with us. And then we need a photographer, and gosh, we need a caterer. And it's just, so last night, the save the date, all good stuff. But
DJ.
the truth is, the DJ.
Furniture, flowers.
Furniture?
Well, I mean, like chairs.
Oh, okay.
like
Yes.
tables
Yes.
and chairs. I interrupted
Yes.
you. Is that okay?
Yes.
But
I
right,
think we would have had to rent linen. Well, Nilsa had some linens
but still,
for us.
flowers.
So she was definitely helping us because we don't want to break the bank. We have too many other things we want to do with our money and finances. And so it felt like we were paring this down to, a simpler, more simple wedding. And last night I believe Jack is raising his hand.
Can you,
Babe, just talk, okay?
can't.
You wouldn't be you if you didn't just blurt it out.
I feel. Are you going to get to the part about how we got to this, like the quantity of people, and then it narrowed itself down, or no? because I think that's a really big part if you forgot about that. You talked about it at lunch today. How we felt that we were actually narrowing it down and getting to a place where it felt manageable, because when we...
Have you been listening to what I'm saying?
No, but you haven't detailed that specifically, the number.
Yeah.
You didn't say the number.
Yeah, I did.
You did?
I did.
What'd you say?
We started with 250, quickly realized that was way over the top, and then narrowed it down to 80. And we were...
Did I miss that?
I don't know where the hell you went in that moment.
I'm so nervous about speaking. Okay. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. I truly am so nervous about interrupting you.
Babe, the key here is to be yourself, okay?
No, but if you listen to the podcast, I always interrupt you. Always.
Well, if you piss me off, it's my job to let you know.
Okay? So go ahead.
So yes, I said all that. We narrowed it down, but then we started adding on all the layers. So it's really that we were still... Last night I equated it to... we started remodeling a bathroom, and it was like we're remodeling a smaller bathroom with this smaller size wedding, but it's still painful. It still costs a lot of money, and it's still laborious, and it still takes a plumber and an electrician and new fixtures and all this stuff. And so even though we have fewer bodies coming, all of those moving parts are still have to be done.
They feel identical.
Yeah.
And we thought maybe naively that, okay, if it's less people, it's just going to mean less money.
Well, and more manageable
and
somehow.
More manageable.
Just logistically more manageable. But it really isn't. It's very similar, if not almost exactly the same, other than the body count. You know, you're still doing all the same stuff.
Well, and on top of it, the photographer doesn't give a shit. The photographer's fee isn't based upon number of people. It's flat, right?
Well, it's flat per hours. Like
but
our
that's
photographer,
what I mean. So
we're looking at, it's hourly rate.
Well,
right.
What I'm getting at is, though, it's not as though because we went from 2 billion people to 3 people that suddenly the photographer only charges $1. Like all the fees were the same. DJ's the same. There was liquor minimums. Right? We had to order $1,500 worth of liquor.
Right.
Like and with 80 people, that's like everyone has to be hammered then for that amount of money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. When you're exactly.
So anyway, it wasn't making sense to us. You still have your glasses on.
It wasn't feeling right last night. I know, I love my glasses.
Do you?
I do. I look really good.
Oh God.
I don't look a day over 30 in my dark plastic lenses. I look really youthful.
I'm much more comfortable when I get to interrupt you because I feel I'm more engaged, which tells you how I don't like to listen.
So last night, I was working on responding to our lovely photographer who is asking for a shot list. Like, do you want this shot with your parents? Then you want this shot, and then you want this shot, and where do you want to go? Wonderful questionnaire, which I completely understand that she needs to get that information and make sure she services her clients well. And I was like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? And and then we butted heads a little bit on it, trying to just get to this point of looking at each other and saying, let's rethink this whole thing because it doesn't feel right.
I was kind of dickish, actually.
Thank you. Do you really know that you feel it? You were? Because that's how it felt to me.
Well, I was a little dickish, and you also weren't answering the question. So that's where I became dickish.
In your mind, I didn't answer the question the way you liked. I answered the question in my mind.
No, I asked you.
There's a big difference.
Well, I know, but when I say, so that's the point. If I say you're not answering my question, even if in your mind it is, you're not answering it. If a client says to you, when you're looking at a house, you're not answering my question, you go, yes, I am. What are you going to do? Tell the client that they're nuts, or you're going to go, okay, maybe I'm not answering the question. What am I missing? That's what happened last night. So I'm going to admit I was a little dickish. I would appreciate if you admit that you weren't answering the question. Anyway, no one can see your eyes rolling behind the glasses right now. What I was getting frustrated by, I think you were looking at the details of the photographer and I was looking at the money. Not that we weren't both thinking things.
Yes.
But I'm going over spreadsheets in my computer, on my phone rather. I'm going over numbers going, what the fuck, man? 2,000 here, 4,000 there. We're not saving a penny. You got 80 people showing up. And then we were looking at renting a house for everyone to be there.
Which is about anywhere from like $1,500 to $2,000 probably.
Yeah, for 4 days or 3 days at least with the kids. And next thing you know, before we can blink, we're at 15,000.
Yeah. And you know there's a ton of stuff you forgot to add into that bottom line. And so it just, in summary, we just came to this conclusion that this isn't feeling right anymore. So where we are right now, we still need to figure out the details. But last night we decided we still want to have some kind of ceremony with Aaron, our officiant. Would still love to see if we can find that spot on the lake with the water in the background and the city in the background, because I love the idea of those photos. Like, those sound beautiful. And then toast a glass of champagne at the park. And then, and honestly, nobody even has to sit down. Why can't everybody stand? We'll get chairs for my parents, or if your mother would like a chair.
It would be
it's
15
going to be
minutes max.
Max.
It's going to take them longer to walk to and from the car.
And we could even serve a glass of champagne when they arrive.
I totally agree. And then they all just
with
toast.
a glass of champagne, and we just have this, it's not about all of this pomp and circumstance with that. And meaningful, of course, meaningful to us. We're not being flippant about it. And then it's like, all right, everybody, we're going to Restaurant X, and we're going to have a great old time. So we narrowed that list of just immediate family and our nieces and nephews, and then each of us inviting 2 of our besties and their spouses, and we came to about a number of 35, right?
Yeah, and 2 things I want to add real quick. One, we were up until midnight, almost 1 o'clock, 12:30, talking about this.
And I slept like shit.
Terribly.
Another reason these glasses are wonderful.
So I want to say something, despite the fact that we had our battles and you thought I was dickish and I felt you weren't answering.
You felt you were dickish too. I'm just going to say.
Answer the question. But the cool thing is we kind of stepped back away from getting into a fight, because it could devolve quick, right? Because you're trying to figure this out. And then what I wanted to say and add to this, when we first talked about getting married, right? Because some people may even at this age go, why bother getting married? Like, what the fuck? Well, we wanted to, right? Mm-hmm. So fuck off, everyone else. But where I'm going with this is when we first started talking about it, we actually liked Danielle and Taylor's story. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't do it the same as they did. They surprised their adult children.
Well, it's okay. Go ahead. Finish telling your story. No. I was going to say that when I was texting Danielle about the chickens this morning, she did say, in hindsight, I wish we would have had a little party.
Oh, you're kidding.
I shared with her
How fucking funny is that?
Yeah, I shared with her what we were planning and how we shifted it, and so she's like, "Yeah, we kind of wish we would have had a little something."
Oh, God damn it! Now I'm having second thoughts now.
No. But she, because we're including family and nieces and nephews and all of that.
Oh, got it. Hers was just her kids. Their kids.
So they did a wonderful thing. They, she and her husband got married, and they have 5 children between them, and one of their daughters is married, and
which is identical to us. Six
exactly.
Grown children.
So 6 grown kids, and they told all the kids for Christmas, because they were all going to be together, that we get all dressed up, everyone wear white on white, because we're having a photographer come to take family photos.
Yeah.
And then that same photographer was
the photographer the officiant?
Yes,
okay,
was the officiant.
Remember that.
And so they surprised the kids and said, "We're getting hitched right now."
Yeah.
So anyway, but that was kind of a template. You keep grabbing my cute little scarf.
Sorry.
And yanking it off of me. And so we're going to do not exactly that, but the idea that we're just simplifying the entire thing. And I think we are with this plan, that we would rather do that sweet ceremony on the lake still, because that's a vision and that costs really nothing.
It costs nothing. It should literally cost us a bottle of champagne.
Half hour, 40 minutes at the park, and we should have beautiful weather, and then say, all right, let's go chow. And then everybody goes out, and we have this leisurely, wonderful extended meal.
Well, let's add a little more color to this.
Well,
we'd rent a back room, upstairs room of a nice restaurant, so we'd still have privacy for ourselves. It's no different than hosting a Christmas party for your small company.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got 50 people at your company and you want to have a little Christmas party,
yes,
we're going to be doing that
You're
in
right.
October. And I now want to make a massive rewind. This is where I was going. When you and I first talked about getting married in the first place, my dream was you, me, and the kids flying someplace like to Costa Rica or to Europe, renting a beautiful house there. At some point during that vacation, we have some sort of officiant out there. Some Parisian. I don't know. I'm making shit up. But they would conduct the ceremony and go right back to hanging with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
That was always our collective dream. That wasn't just mine. It was
correct.
You and I said, what if we did this? And then what happened is we went, oh, man, our parents who are, my mom is obviously still around. Your mom and dad are. We thought, oh, they'd be upset if they weren't there.
Yes,
and then it went,
they're so happy for us.
Right. And then it went, oh, well, shit. Our siblings would be upset if they weren't there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can't not have the nieces and nephews then, right?
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, we went, well, maybe we should have more friends. And it just fucking grew.
Yeah.
And you said something at lunch today where I'm paraphrasing it. You said, I had to build it to see it or something like that. What
yes, I have to feel things in order to know sometimes what I want or don't want. Not always, but this is something like I had to experience this process in order to know that it's not feeling right. I have never done a second wedding before. I have never done this with you. I have never,
Am I going to be
I
your
had
first?
to, your what?
Am I going to be your first?
My first wedding?
I'm being weird.
You're not my first anything, babe,
I
but
know.
you're the best and
Whatever.
my favorite. And
Trollop.
trollop. Slut. So yes, this, I believe, for me was all part of the process of getting to the point where I'm like, this doesn't feel right anymore. Let's abort. So ultimately, we'd rather spend, if we're going to spend a chunk of change, we would rather spend it on that trip with the kids again. And so you've talked to 2 out of your 3 kids. I need to talk to my kids, but I'm sure if we told them would you be up for an all expenses paid trip to Costa Rica with all of us, they'd be like,
do you realize?
Fuck and yes.
Yeah. Do you realize if we were to truly pay for everything for them?
Yes.
Right? Do you know it would be less expensive than the wedding we were planning?
I know.
It's fucking
And it would
insane.
be this amazing
And
experience.
it'd be more so when you say amazing experience, I'm guessing we're on the same page. So much more rewarding for us.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I
It's
would-
quality time with those kids, and
I would enjoy it so much more.
So
Not that I
much.
don't love our friends or all those interactions. I just
oh no, our friends and family get that. They
We-
get,
we rewound to where we started.
Say that again.
We rewound. I got it.
We won't.
I didn't say we wound. You said that. I said we rewound. Still did it well. So good. She sells seashells by the seashore. We went right back to where we started. And
We did.
It felt really good at around 12:05 to do that and say, this is what we should do. And then it was, all right, can we talk to the kids about when? Because I think you and I still want to have it in October. So the date may change by a day.
Date for the ceremony and the dinner is October.
Yeah, so we do a nice ceremony. We hope the weather's nice. If not, we'll have a backup somehow. We'll rent a back room or an upstairs. Like we love a Nesto, and maybe we can rent the upstairs of a Nesto. So no different than having a private party. We're going to keep it to very, very, very close family because that's what we wanted all along.
Yeah.
A few friends, which we feel is the right thing to keep it limited. So it's mostly family. And then call it a day.
Yeah.
And I feel so much more relaxed about it because the planning of it was making me nuts. And then to think that whole day would be less than it would be to get the beer tab at a place.
Yes.
It'd be less than $1,500 to do all that.
Right.
And you're not going and buying a dress. I'm not getting a tux.
I'm going to find a dress of some sort. But that was another thing that was so shocking. You start looking for bridal dresses and there is such an upcharge. I'm not even looking at an embellished, lacy, beaded anything. And
I had
the
your
dresses
dress.
are, $800 for just the simplest full-length dress.
This is the dress you should wear.
Yeah.
Anyone who's watching it on YouTube.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
I think the bottom half of the dress ripped off.
That's
Is
right.
it half price? You are so good at that shit.
Okay.
So that's where we are, and we have this big. So we have to call Nilsson Paul and break the news that thank you so much. How much more do we owe you? Because you deserve it for all the work you've done.
They did.
All the time you've spent, all the running around you've done for us. We owe you some more money. So we wasted a little bit, not wasted. We went through a little bit of money that we probably didn't have to, but it was all part of the journey. It was all part of the process of us figuring this out, and we're never going to do it again because you're not getting away. So
don't you think
you're stuck?
I don't want us to criticize ourselves too intently to say we did something wrong. If there's a lesson here, go with our gut. You and I both wanted to explore that. You wanted to explore it more than me. Right? You want to look at it more and go, what could this look like?
I needed it a little bit more, yeah.
I went, all right, well, let's see where this goes. I didn't want to shoot you down. My gut said something else, right? Mm-hmm. And if there's a lesson for the two of us, it's maybe we got to just trust our gut a little bit more, which I think is why I got intense yesterday. We were talking about it. I was like, what do you want? What do you want? Like, what is your gut telling you? And he goes like, I'm not sure what my gut's telling me. And I'm like, yes, you do. You know your gut. Tell you, just scream it out. Scream it out. What do you want?
I didn't, though. You were trying to you were acting as if I was intentionally not telling you. I didn't have the answer.
No, I didn't.
And the more you push,
no, I didn't feel you were intentionally not telling me. I felt that you were having a hard time articulating it, and that's why I wanted to.
Sure.
Well, I know, but I just wanted to go like on the spot. If someone were to ask you right now, what'd you do? And I think that's where I believe we're actually good when it comes to our gut. I don't know how you feel about it, but our gut's been right on a lot of things.
True.
Like even the bathroom upstairs, like our gut was this floor. We're not going to be able to work with this floor. We got to tear it up. Mm-hmm. Right. And we contemplated for a hair's breadth of a second. Right. Mm-hmm. And then we're like, fuck it, tear it up. Now it cost us a day of demo because it was really hard, but we should lesson learned. Trust. I can't keep taking you seriously with those fucking glasses on.
I've gotten used to them. I'm very comfortable.
Oh God. So
I'm gonna wear these tomorrow all day.
Well, it's Valentine's Day. You should. Mm-hmm. And you know what I think starts tomorrow too is Shamrock Shakes.
Oh.
Oh fuck yeah!
I don't think that's on your diet.
200 pounds.
I don't think green number 3 dye is in your vegan diet.
Just stop it. It's so
let
good.
Alone the dairy. It's really not. I'll make you a really good Shamrock Shake.
So do you? Oh, we have mint.
I'll get you custard.
We have fresh mint.
Have fresh mint. We need mint oil too, because to really get that mint.
We have extract.
It does not. The fresh mint will make it green, a little bit green, but we will not have dye in it. And we'll make you.
Could you just use extract, mint extract?
Yum.
We have it.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, you said oil. Is that the same thing?
Mint extract. Yeah.
Is mint oil the same as extract?
I think it is an oil when they extract it. I don't know. I think.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you feel comfortable now with everything?
I do. Now I'm anxious to find a place in Costa Rica. I'm anxious to. We cannot book our airfare yet. I'm feeling it. You and I have talked about it for a while. I think the kids would love it.
Do you know we have? I looked at my points. You know we have 700,000 Southwest points.
Well, let's spend them.
Well, but I mean, we could use all of that plus the American Express. Like, if anyone really wants to talk to me outside of this, I can tell you how to, right?
You could start your own little travel point.
Well,
Travel the world on points.
Well, follow the Points Guy.
By Jack Honor. The Points Guy. I like that. There might be something.
No, there's a website called the Points Guy.
Okay,
No, it's a legit thing.
But you were making it up.
I don't know. I was interviewed by him. Our company was too. But I know travel shit for sure when it comes to points. So Costa Rica is where you'd like to go.
I would like to look into that.
Okay.
I will say in general, I'm feeling like we should go somewhere warm because now we might take that trip in January, right after Christmas in December, January when it's snowing. I understand the idea of going skiing, but there is something about the idea of going to somewhere warm you and I have never been on a warm vacation
funny?
Together.
We've
in
never
all
done that.
The many, many, many years we've been together,
I know you're being sarcastic,
doesn't.
But if you think about all the trips we've taken, we've never even gone someplace.
No.
That's never been our desire. We went last year to Massachusetts, to Boston. We've gone to Colorado, Oregon. We tend to do more adventure, hikey, city things. We've never demonstrated. Hell, when we were in New Zealand, we spent maybe an hour on the beach and we went, this is boring. But Costa Rica seems to have a different flavor than
Costa Rica is a different flavor. It's jungle. It's not just beach,
But
it's jungle. If we could find a house that sleeps 12,
we could,
and has its own pool, and then you could have it stocked with groceries and have a chef come for a few meals, but kind of be on your own for breakfast and mull about the house.
Even then, it would cost less than the wedding.
And then go on like little adventures, like if anyone wanted to zip line or take a day and go down to the beach, or
You know what's funny?
That would be my ideal.
You know what's funny?
I just want to trap those kids in the same room with me. That's all I want.
No, I get it. You know what's funny is that when we were doing your listing photographs, what's his name? Kyle. I was going to call him Zeph. That's his last name. So when we were talking to Kyle and we asked what he's going to be doing for a wedding, and remember how he said, this is before we came to our conclusion, how he said justice of the peace
he's
thing?
like, justice of the peace. We're saving for a house. Neither of us want to spend that kind of coin. We don't give a shit,
blah, blah, blah.
Coin on a wedding. So
isn't that one of those things then? Can I say this? See, the universe was going, yo, listen to me. It's almost like all these clues kept popping up as to why not to do something, right? Like when we went last week and we looked at that one place and we were talking about it on our podcast, how they said, we're only open till 10.
Yeah.
Right. The universe was telling us, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? And we didn't pay attention to it. Do you agree with what I'm saying?
I do. Nope. Not at all. Not at all.
So I got a question for you. We could keep going and talk about my other topic, or do you want to just call it a day here, sweetheart, and then ask some questions?
Let's do some questions.
You want to do some questions?
Yeah. Yep.
But you're feeling good about this choice.
I am. I'm feeling much better. Now let's find that place so that we know what it is.
I still want Aaron there to officiate it because I think it'll make me feel good.
Absolutely.
And then I'd love your idea of if it's a beautiful day, just walking up to a spot where we are familiar with and right? Mm-hmm. And then just kind of doing our thing.
Exactly.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Everything feels right now. And then just a nice dinner, and you're okay with moving the date.
Yes.
From Friday to Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'll be better for the travelers.
Yeah.
Anybody that's traveling will.
Yeah, because they can come in on a Friday, come to our wedding on Saturday, go home on a Sunday. And if they can't all make it because of travel, it'll be a bummer. I'd like our kids to be there. Your Mac and my Key are the only ones out of state, like big out of state.
Yeah.
I don't count Chicago because that's a drive.
No, like they have to get on a plane.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's an effort.
4 hours.
That's effort.
Least. Yeah.
I get it. Okay, cool. So I'm glad you're happy. I'm glad we got through it.
I'm glad you're happy. I'm glad we didn't break up over planning our wedding. Isn't it crazy how planning something like this is your day of bliss, your union, your love, your all of that. And
I thought I was fucking done with all that kind of thinking.
It's so stressful.
Right? It can be
so stressful. Even if you're not worried about finances.
Right.
It can be so stressful.
Which one do you want to use?
Pick a color, any color. Pick the black one.
The black one, okay.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Kathy and I, since we've met, we like to say this every week, stumbled across, when we were first dating, we use an an app called Paired, and it was all designed to get us to know one another better, and that was great. And then we moved to the Gottmans had a card deck online that we use, great as well. And then you stumbled across this organization called the Skin Deep, which has these wonderful podcasts, YouTube shows between all walks of life. So mothers and fathers and sisters and uncles and partners and
any
relationship. And you just ask some really intense, and they're beautifully crafted, curated questions.
Yeah, they're meant to connect you. They're
And
meant
so
to.
we still, after all this time together and 70 some episodes in, we still ask each other questions, right? At the end of every episode. So that's what this is about. So when Kathy says, go grab the black one, it doesn't mean what you think. It meant the black card deck. Did you get that?
Jack Honer.
So inappropriate. All right.
Inappropriate.
Father, he's naked. That was gonna be the show. Inappropriate father, he's naked. Pick a card, any card.
Okay. I'm reading it to you.
You're gonna read
right?
to me. It's a question to me. How about this one right there?
All right. I can't see a thing with my sunglasses on. Hold on.
Dork, say what?
Oh, it's so bright out here.
Oh,
Oh
brother.
my gosh. Need my shades.
Okay.
All right. When do you find yourself thinking about our relationship lasting? When do you find yourself thinking about our relationship lasting? I don't know
When
if
do
the
you
structure
when
of
do
that
you
sentence
okay, hold
makes
on.
sense to
When
me.
do you find yourself thinking about a relationship lasting? Oh, I don't know what I can interpret what I think that means. Like,
yeah, I guess.
do I ever have like doubts about
I guess
us,
so.
or like whether or not we're going to last?
Yeah.
When do I think about that? I don't anymore. I used to. For sure used to, but we talked about that before. That was in fact, we had a podcast episode, The Crack in the Foundation.
What or when
Like
was the shift?
What would caused it? What would have prompted that thought?
No, what made you not think about it anymore?
I think it was, I'm going to always start with me. So, because that's the mantra I have, right? If I'm feeling something because I'm experiencing something you did, why is it triggering me? Right? So I always try to check myself first. Fair? That's what we talk about often. Like when you start to have a trigger from your partner, hold on a second, check yourself. Why are you reacting? Because there's something there that maybe your partner didn't do. So when I found myself, it was because more self-doubt that you were going to leave me. So it was a little bit of insecurity creeping in, right? We'd have some moments where we were disagreeing, and it's much easier for me to just go, fuck it, I'm out, live by myself, than to try to get closer and closer to you and run the risk that you're going to hurt me. When did that shift where I don't think about whether or not this is going to last? Probably over the fall when we had that moment where I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Remember it was last year, was it? Where I just felt things weren't in sync.
Yeah.
And then we just had a nice heart-to-heart about stuff. We went through a really rough patch. That's the whole do you remember that clearly?
Absolutely.
You were there.
Was I?
I hope so. I got to a place where I don't want this relationship to end, and certainly wouldn't want it to end with tragedy. I also know that we don't know what life's going to hold for us. And so it was much easier for me than just fall into a place of trusting you. And I don't think I trusted you for a while. That's a part of it. Again, my own head. Not that you had done something that created a lack of trust. It was just me protecting myself.
Right.
So
That makes sense.
Is that good?
That sounds very human-like.
All right. So I'll pick one to ask of you. Sounds very human-like.
It does. You sound like you're a mere mortal. I'm a mere mortal. That sounds very real.
Yeah. When you are alone at night and you're thinking of me, what?
I see none of those words on that card right now.
Oh, this is really good. I like this one.
Do tell.
When you think of me without my clothes on.
Again, not the card.
No, this is I like this one a lot, for real. in the back of your mind, are you scared I'll walk away?
No.
You should be.
No,
Not at all.
I feel I would not be marrying you if I did not feel confident in our love. And I think that this podcast probably has something to do with that, because our communication on this podcast and some of the deep dive into some of the things that we've talked about has instilled confidence in me. And both of us on this podcast have talked about wanting to really show up for each other to make sure this does last, that we give it all we got. With this, we've expressed how important this is to us. And I think I don't doubt that, and I would not be marrying you if I did. I feel confident in us. I really, and confident in you and your love for me. And I hope you do. You tell me you do when I say I love you, and you say, I know you do. That's important to me.
Yeah, I hope.
And then you also say, of course you should.
Well, and I hope you are okay that I say I love you back, and I say I love you all the time. When you say I love you, I feel the right answers. I know you do. Mm-hmm. So you know that I feel that. Mm-hmm. And I hope you don't feel that I just should automatically respond with, I love you too. I like being able to response. Talk to you. So
yeah. It feels good that you feel that from me. That feels good.
You truly are my best friend. And last week or a couple episodes ago, one of the card questions was something along the lines of, what do you do when I'm not around, or something like that? Or what would you miss when I'm not around? Or what do you miss when I'm not around? And I said, you answered talking to me, or my talking to you rather. No, I find what's funny is when we end the podcast, because no one obviously knows this, we don't have a film crew following us, though if anyone wants to do that and pay us for the rights.
Wait, who's that guy that's been in the house?
Some friend of mine. He's just weird. Oh. Yeah. So I think it's interesting that you mentioned that this podcast brings us closer, because oftentimes we walk into the podcast going, what are we going to talk about? Or we'll have some things that we know we want to talk about. But when we end, we always recap the podcast. Do you ever notice that? We'll talk to one another about, hey, I really like what you said, or that was kind of good, or
oh yes, when we're stop recording,
we press stop on all this stuff. We actually recap and hang out more, which I think is kind of neat.
Yeah.
So, and again, the purpose of this podcast is not. There's so many other places you can get advice online, from professionals to folks on Instagram, like Mark Groves, though he's not a doctor in this stuff, he certainly gives great advice. We are never going to be that. We hope you listen to us, right? And hear our stories and glean something from it. That's it. And we're not here to tell you what to do or to advise you. We can tell you what we've experienced. And I think this is kind of cool.
I'll tell you what to do.
You do. Often. I just react very well to it. So you think it's not a big deal. And for our next podcast, on that note,
I got to put my glasses back on so I can roll my eyes.
That's terrible to
do.
All right, I'll put mine on too. So happy Valentine's Day to you, sweetie pie pumpkins.
Happy Valentine's Day,
Smoochy
baby.
Lips. On that note, peace.
You just listened to another episode of the Jack and Kathy Shit Show. All recording, engineering, and production provided by us. Connect with the podcast on Instagram at Jack and Kathy Shit Show for more insight into our shit show of a life. This episode is proudly brought to you by Pint Productions.
Point.